right, we are looking at applications of trig homework. So we are going to sketch the situation, making sure to include any known and unknown sides. Then we're going to label it. Then we're going to figure out if it's SOHCAHTOA. So again, this is the homework side. We want the classwork side. So we're going to write SOHCAHTOA at the top. Sine is opposite over hypotenuse. Cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse. And tangent is opposite over adjacent. Okay. A boy flying a kite about 300 feet of string, which makes an angle of 38 degrees with the ground. Assume that the string is straight. How high off the ground is the kite? Okay, so first we got a kite in the air. So here's my kite. Okay. I've got a string to the ground. I want to know how high it is off the ground. So here's my triangle. Okay. The angle with the ground is 38 degrees. The string is 300 feet. So I just want to be clear. A lot of people think this is the string, but kites, they don't go like a balloon, right? They don't go straight up and down. They go at that angle. That's how I know that 300 is my hypotenuse. 38. So this is my hypotenuse, 300. I'm trying to find the height, so this is my x, and that is my opposite. So if I'm using O and H, I use sine, cosine, or tangent. Which one uses O and H? Sine. Sine of 38 equals x, my opposite, over 300, my hypotenuse. Then I go 300 sine 38 equals x, and I'm going to put that in my calculator. My calculator's being crazy. So we go 300 sine 38, and I get 184.7, I'm just going to round, feet. So it's 184.7 feet. Did I show you guys yesterday how to do trig functions on your phone calculator? Okay, I'm just going to go, because some people are saying yes and some people are saying no. So I'm just going to go over it again. This is an iPhone. Okay, so here's my regular calculator. If I turn my iPhone sideways, I can see the sine and cosine buttons come up. The only issue is with an iPhone, you have to do it backwards. So I hit 38, and then I hit sine, and then I times it by 300. So I'm just doing it backwards, and I get the same answer. Now, if you have an Android, instead of turning it sideways, I believe you just swipe it over, and I think you can enter it the same way we enter for ours, in ours. Okay. So I have an iPhone, but actually the Android calculator I think works better because it looks like your calculator when you're doing trig. Okay. All right. Let's move on to number 2. All right. A ladder leans against a wall, makes an angle of 74 degrees with the ground. If the foot of the ladder is 6.5 feet from the wall, how high on the wall is the ladder? Okay, so for this one, I'm going to draw the picture, but then I want you guys to solve it on your own. The next one, I'm going to have you guys draw the picture, and then we'll solve it together. And then for the last one, you'll do all of it. Okay? So, yes, ma'am. Are you on the classwork side or the homework side? Okay. Is that better? Okay. So, we've got a ladder, and it's leaning against the wall. We can't have the ladder go straight up and down, right? Because we'll fall. So the ladder has to lean at the side. Okay? So a ladder is leaning against an angle of 74 degrees with the ground. I know where to put that 74 degrees because it says with the ground, and the ground is on the bottom, right? Don't put the ground in the air. All right. If the foot of the ladder is 6.5 feet from the wall, how high on the wall is the ladder? So where's 6.5 feet? If the foot of the ladder is 6.5 feet from the wall, Is this 6.5? Is this 6.5 or is the bottom? The bottom. Because it says 6 feet from the bottom, from the foot of the ladder. Okay, and we want to know how high on the wall is the ladder. So where does my X go? How high on the wall? So it goes right here. That's how high on the wall. If we wanted to know the length of the ladder, that's where it would go. Okay? So now I want you guys to label this and solve. Label it and solve, and then we'll do it with you. What is X? Is X opposite, adjacent, or hypotenuse? Is 6 point, no, do it on your own. Is 6.5 opposite, adjacent, or hypotenuse? Which trig function do you use? Can you put it in your calculator? Go. You're looking at that 74 degrees, so think about 6.5. Is it next to it? Is it across from it? Is it the hypotenuse? Figure out which trig function you're going to use. Okay, should we try it? What'd you put for 6.5, guys? Opposite, adjacent, or hypotenuse? Adjacent. And what's X? Opposite. So which trig function did we use? Tan. Tan of 74 equals X over 6.5. Multiply both sides by 6.5. And we get X equals, or the height of the ladder equals, I get 22.7 or 22.67 feet. Okay. The next one, I want you guys to draw the picture. So I'm going to read it a couple of times while you guys are drawing the picture. You ready? A straight road to the top of the hill is 2,500 feet long and makes an angle with a horizontal of 12 degrees. Find the height of the hill. So a straight road to the top of the hill is 2,500 feet, and it makes an angle with a horizontal. We know horizontal is right to left, right? Horizontal. Of 12 degrees. Find the height of the hill. You guys ready to see if you drew your picture right? Okay, a straight road to the top of the hill is 2,500. The angle with the horizontal is 12 degrees. Find the height of the hill. Okay, good. 2,500 then is your opposite, adjacent, or hypotenuse. What's 2,500? Hypotenuse, good. And X is your opposite. So which trig function am I going to use? Sine. O and H is sine. O and A is tangent. So sine of 12 equals X over 2,500. Multiply both sides by 2,500. And we get X equals, what do we get, guys, when we plug that in? Yep, 519.78 feet. Okay, this last one I want you to do all on your own, and then you'll check it with me, okay? So it'll be all right. and then you'll have homework. So we got to know that you can do this. An airplane climbs at an angle of 11 degrees with the ground. Find the ground distance it has traveled when it has attained an altitude of 400 feet. What does altitude mean? Height. So, if an airplane climbs at an angle of 11 degrees with the ground, find the ground distance it has traveled when it has attained an altitude or a height of 400 feet. So I want you to make the picture. I want you to label it opposite or adjacent or hypotenuse. I want you to find the trig function, and then I actually want you to solve it. I want you to do all of that. Or height. Height. The height is really good. That's not the height. So your height is 400. Okay, I saw a lot of people's drawings, and I think a lot of people are done, so I want to just make sure we go over this. When we say altitude and we say height, remember, guys, that means straight up and down. So I went 400 feet. I'm 400 feet high. That's the altitude. 11 degrees, and I'm trying to find the ground. This is my opposite. This is my adjacent, so I'm going to use tan of 11 equals opposite over adjacent. Yuck, that's the x on the bottom, but we know we can just multiply both sides by x. X tan 11 equals 400. Divide both sides by tan of 11. So x equals 400 divided by tan of 11. And I get x is approximately 2,057.6 feet. I had a lot of people say that number seems too big to me. It's a plane. It goes a long ways.
The only to reach 400 feet.
In the air, yeah. So if you got 0.8, that's fine. I might have just rounded mine last. You might have rounded yours more. You might have rounded mine before putting it in there. Okay, so the homework on the back is your homework for tonight, which is just 4 more of these. Okay? You can do it. It's only 4 problems total. All right. Go. Do your homework.